Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhar Vikagiri Shishi Radha Vinod Vihari Juki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Juki Jai Nityalila Pavishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shmad Bhakti Viranta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shila Guru Dev Ki Jai Nityalila Pavishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shmad Bhakti Viranta Vaman Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pavishtam Rashata Rashata Shmad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Vishnu Vishnupada Ashtatarashata Shmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupa Nugogoriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shar Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Namachay Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityānanda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Braja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund Ki Jai Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Ki Jai Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai Śrī Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai Śrīla Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad Ki Jai Śrīla the Gaudiya Bhashya commentary of Caitanya-bhāgavata Ki Jai Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Nitāi Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. 1 second, just need to wash. Still have some throat problems, so that's why I had to make some ginger tea. Let's see who's all there on Haribo, Sudevi Didi, and Karuna Didi, and Vidyalalasa Didi. Hare Krishna. Okay, so now we should pick a song. Which song should we sing today? Maybe let's pick something that has associates of Mahaprabhu. Haribo and Dira Mataji. Maybe we should pick something with the associates, a song that has associates of Mahaprabhu in it, since that's what we're reading about. All the associates that appeared prior to him. No. We're going to sing, right? Because we're going to read about the appearance of Nityānanda Prabhu. So maybe we can read that. Radha Deshanam, Eka Chakragram. Let me just try to find it really quick. There it is. Okay, let me just share my screen. Okay, the appearance of Sriman Nityānanda Prabhu. 1 second, let me make it big. Hi. In the country named Rad, in the village of Ekachakra, at the house of Harai Pandit, Haladar, the carrier of the plow, appeared in the auspicious month of Magh on the 13th day of the bright lunar fortnight. Completely ecstatic, Harai Pandit held a grand festival, and Mother Earth trembled, unable to control her bliss. The Lord of Shantipur, Śrī Advaita Acharya, having deduced the time of Nityānanda Prabhu's appearance, was overjoyed at heart. He understood that Balaram, the elder brother of Sri Krishna, had appeared. The hearts of the Vaishnavas were delighted, and they floated in an ocean of bliss. The morose Krishnadas says, "This lowly wretch will surely be saved." Okay. Okay. 1 second, just checking everything is running okay. I have too many windows open. Think so. Okay. Aradeshana Ekachakra Harai Pandita Ghar Ashubhamagamasi Shuklatrayodashi Janamila Haladha Janamila Haladhara Harai Pandita Ati Harashita Putra Mahotsava Kore Adharani Manda Kore Talamal Ananda Nahi Kodhare Shanti Purana Mane Harashita Porikichu Anuman Ayantare Janila Bhuji Janamila Krishnera Agrajara Vaishnavirman Hoilo Parasana Yananda Sagare Pase Edina Pamar Hoi Beudai Hohe Dukhi Krishna Dase Kohe Dukhi Krishna Dase Radha Ekachakra Harai Pandita Ghara Shubhamagamasi Shuklatrayodashi Janamila Haladhara Ajanamila Haladhara Jaya Nityānanda Ram, Jaya Nityānanda Ram, Nityānanda Ram, Jaya Nityānanda Ram, Jaya Nityānanda Ram, Nityānanda Ram, Nityānanda Ram, Jaya Nityānanda Ram. Actually, I think there might be a part in Caitanya-bhāgavata that goes more in depth in Nityananda's appearance. Anyhow, whatever. Oh, Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Nitāi Gaur, Nitāi Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, say Shri Mataji and Ganga Mataji, Hare Krishna. I'll turn on noise suppression so that you don't hear the background. 1 second. Preferences, audio. Okay, Zoom optimized audio. Okay, now you won't be able to hear the background. I'll turn the noise suppression off when the kirtan finishes in the temple room, because I think it messes up the quality of the sound. All right, so what am I reading from? Let me open up the files. Oops, wrong folder. Let me share my screen. You can see what I'm doing. Okay. So let's see. Caitanya-bhāgavata, 2nd chapter. Open. And then we need the Mangala Charan. Oh, I could have just done it here. God, I'm spaced out. All right, there, I got everything open. Haribo, Kishore Prabhu, and Champak Didi, Hare Krishna. I'm gonna turn on dark mode so it's easier in everyone's eyes. There. All right, so what we read yesterday, let's open this up. Actually, I'll do Mangala Charan first, and then we'll do the recap. I think that's better to do it like that. Then we get the flow. Just closing all the extra windows I have up on. Okay. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tar Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ajanulambita bhujau kanakavadato sankirtanaikapitaro kamalaya Vishwambharo Dijavaro Yugadharmapalo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha Avatirno Sakarunyo Parichinno Sarishvaro Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityānanda Dvau Bhrataro Bhaje Sajayati Vishuddha Vikrama Kanakabha kamalayate kshana Varajanu vilambisharbhujo Bahuda bhakti rasabhinartaka Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandro Jayati Jayati Kirtis Tasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Bhrityas Tasya Vishveshamurter Jayati Jayati Nrityam Tasya Sarva Priyanam Adi Shri Caitanya Priya Goshtir Charane Ashisha Prakare Mor Danda Paraname Tabe Vando Shri Krishna Chaitanya Maheshwar Navadvīpe Avatar Nama Vishwambhar Tavai Vasmi Tavai No wait, I'm gonna do Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Pranam Mantra. Where is that? What happened to it? Huh. 1 second. There it is. Nilachala Nivasaya Nityāya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannataya Te Namaha Govardhana Dharam Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulotsavam Govindam Gopika Priyam Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Devi Tvang Nayamang Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshai Kshiptashtakamaditaranga Madhye Kripa Mai Tvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so does anybody here have anything that they want to share from the last reading?
What about Vrindavan Das Thakur's the glorification of Caitanya-bhāgavata?
Thank you. I totally spaced that out. Let's open that up. Where is it? There. Okay. Okay. Ore mora loka shuno Chaitanya mangal Chaitanya mahima jate jani beshakal Krishna lila bhagavate kohe veda vyas Chaitanya lila ravyas vrindavana das koilo Chaitanya mangal Jahara shravane nashe sarvaya mangal Chaitanya Nitāi jate janiye mahima, jate janiye Krishna bhakti siddhanter sima, bhagavate jotta bhakti siddhanter sar, likhi achen iha jani koriya udhar, Chaitanya mangala shune jadi pashandi javan, sheho maha vaishnava hoy tatakhan, manushe rachite nare. Aiche Granta Dhanya Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Vakta Shri Caitanya Vrindavana Dasa Pare Koti Namaskar Aiche Grantha Korite Ho Tari La Sangsar Narayani Chaitanya Uchishta Bhajan Tar Garbe Janmi Lashi Dasa Vrindavan तार की अर्बुत चैतन्य चरित वर्णन Jahara Shavane Shuddha Koilo Tribhuvan Sahaje Vichitra Madhur Chaitanya Vihar Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Amrite Dhar. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they're described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada Gaudiya Bhashya ki jai. Let me open up the summary. Okay. So, chapter 2. Yesterday we read the previous 2 days we read the Mangala Charan. We went through the Mangala Charan for this second chapter. And then why the Lord descends. The secondary reason, the external secondary reason, the reason for the jivas, why he descends. That is to establish the Yuga Dharma through Nam Sankirtan. And then we went through some of the parikaras of the Lord who descended in different countries prior to the Lord's descent, prior to the Lord's advent. But we didn't finish it. We got, I think, halfway through that. So when does that start? That starts verse 28. Let's read from 28 onwards then. Okay, and we read up to verse 37. Okay, cool. 28 to 37. Let's read from there. Where am I? Maybe let's read it from here. All glories to Śrī Gaurachandra, the ocean of mercy. All glories to Nityānanda Prabhu, the personification of devotional service. Although the truths of the two brothers and their devotees are incomprehensible, they can be realized by the mercy of their lordships. And then Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur shows how even Brahma can't understand, he can't realize the Lord by his own power. It's only by the mercy of the lordships for everybody, even the topmost being in this world, Brahma. The knowledge of personalities like Lord Brahma is enhanced by the mercy of Lord Krishna. This is confirmed in all the scriptures, such as the Vedas and the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Then there gives evidence from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Who has the ability to know why Krishna Chandra incarnates? Still, I'm giving whatever reasons are described in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad Gita. And then there's these two verses, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya dadatmanam sajamyaham. Whenever and wherever there's a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Then paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. These are both from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verses 7 and 8. To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to reestablish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium. Okay. So this is the secondary reason for the jivas, why he appears. The religious principle for the age of Kali is a congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Śrī Sacinandana incarnates to establish this principle. Okay, so Śrīmad Bhāgavatam says that the Lord appears to propagate Harinam Sankirtan. And now we come here. Lord Chaitanya inaugurated the congregational chanting of the holy names as the essence of all religious principles for the age of Kali. In Kali Yuga, the Lord incarnates with his associates in order to maintain the religious principle of Sankirtan. Okay, so he incarnates with his associates. Now we're going to hear about all those associates. On the order of the Lord, all of his associates took birth in human society. Ananta, Shiva, Brahma, various sages, and the associates of all the Lord's previous incarnations, they all took birth as great devotees. Only Gaur Krishna knew which associate took birth as which devotee. Just on this point, never mind. Oh, whatever I started. On this point, this just reminded me about the point about Srila Prabhupada being in Sakyaras or in Madhuras. And I mean, I believe that Srila Prabhupada's in Madhuras because I'm a disciple of my Gurudev, and that's what my Gurudev would propagate. But at the same time, I'm not disturbed at all when people say that Srila Prabhupada's in Sakyaras. Because yeah, I'm not disturbed at all when people say Srila Prabhupada's in Sakyaras, except if it's my god brothers, because that's, I mean, we should be following what my Gurudev established, what my Gurudev said. But anyhow, when just general devotees say this, I really, it doesn't make me have any different feelings towards anybody. I really could care less, because we see in like Gaur Ganodeshtipika, we see some people are of the opinion that this person is this person. Some people are of the opinion that this person is this person. This has always been something that's been happening since like the time of Mahaprabhu all the way to the present day, that people have different opinions of what associate of Mahaprabhu is which personality in Krishna Lila. And it's not like people, I don't think people hate each other because some people think that this person's that person and that person's that person. So anyhow, just wanted to mention that point because it came, yeah. Because only Gaur Krishna knew which associate took birth as which devotee. So only Gaur Krishna, only they actually know who is, well, I guess this is different because this is talking about Gaur Lila, but anyhow, whatever.
That's really interesting how you compared that to Gaur Ganodeshtipika and how even the associates of Mahaprabhu have been debating who's who for so many years. And
yes.
I agree. I personally agree with you, Prabhu. Like, yeah, I'm not just when I hear different devotees say that Prabhupada and Sakyaras, I'm not disturbed, and I'm not gonna, unless it's my god brothers as well. I'm not disturbed, and I'm not gonna hate them. Sometimes there's one sannyasi I like listening to. He once said he once said that Prabhupada was in Sakyaras. I'm not gonna hate him, or I'm just gonna simply disagree with him.
Yeah. And it's not like it's going to make any difference in our spiritual. It's not like Srila Prabhupada's going to be like, oh, you haven't realized who I am in my Swarupa, I'm not going to give you my mercy. It's like when it will happen in time, it will be revealed to us when we make progress in spiritual life. But like Srila Prabhupada's merciful. He's not going to you don't need to know who is who. Except yeah, it's anyways, it's just this is something that's revealed. It's not something that you just like try to like figure out with your brain. That's not our process.
Yeah, I remember I actually asked Padmanabh Maharaj a question regarding this similar question. And he said, well, personally, I think that's true, but that's not really important for us right now. What's important is who Srila Prabhupada is here in this world.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
And I remember hearing this story. Prabhupada's disciple Gurukish Gopijana Balaprabhu. He said that he spoke to Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata once, and that Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata went and asked Srila Prabhupada, who are you in Goloka Vrindavan? And Srila Prabhupada said, mind your own business.
Wow. I've never heard that one. That's great.
And also, the disciple, he can, to an extent, he can see the guru as he feels when he's doing bhajan, like.
Oh, like in Jaiva Dharma, right?
Yeah. Like some Vaishnavas will see either guru, and some Vaishnavas who are aspiring for Sakyaras, or will see their guru as a Saka. Others will see their guru as a follower of Rup Manjari.
Could you explain that example in Jaiva Dharma? What was it, Rajakumar and Rajanath? Is it they saw their guru as a personification of, right? Could you explain that a little bit?
Sure, but I'm not the best person to ask since I've only read one chapter of Jaiva Dharma.
Oh, I can say it then also. It has been so long since I've read Jaiva Dharma.
I think it was Brajanath. Was it Brajanath who saw his guru as Osaka?
Oh
Was
God.
it Vijay Kumar?
I think Brajanath. God, I can't remember which one was which. That's why I was asking you.
I think it was
Yeah.
Brajanath who saw his guru as Arun Sakuras, and Vijay Kumar saw his guru as the Palidasi of Srimati Radhika, because Vijay Kumar, he told his guru once, Raghunath Das Babji, I'm no longer content being known as Vijay Kumar, like having a name of Krishna. Now the only mood that's coming into me is that of Radha.
Wow. Yeah.
And then his guru told him, yes, you are Manjari. Yeah.
See, it's so strange how he gets so divisive. Like this is actually like destroyed sanghas and like friendships and everything. And it's like anyways, I just think it's so
Yeah.
to be like
I remember hearing an actually I remember hearing an audio where a devotee was asking Gurudev that some devotees, they feel that Gorgovinda Maharaj, he kind of revealed that he was the brother of Srimati Radhika, that he was Sridham Saka. And a devotee was asking Gurudev about this, that Gorgovinda Maharaj, he kind of like hinted about this at some point. And Srila Gurudev said, for his disciples, some disciples may seem like this, but not all disciples will.
Wow, very interesting.
Yeah, it's Gurudev's lecture in 2005, Hawaii, Christmas Day.
Wow, very neat. Cool. Oh yes, Satya Mataji. Yes, what did you want to say?
So for myself, it doesn't really matter. You know, as a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, he's my guru. I just do what he says, right? Who he is his personal, usually we don't reveal that to people, right? So it's his own personal relationship. And so I just leave it alone.
Yes, and Srila Prabhupada will reveal himself. He'll reveal who you are, and he'll reveal who he is. And when the time comes, like at the appropriate time, when we make progress in bhakti, it's not like there's no like quick shortcuts, you know.
Right. Yeah, and you know, he's fully qualified to help us in whatever way we're moving, whichever rasa we're inclined toward. He's fully qualified to help us with that. So I just leave it.
Yes.
And I've heard this on back and forth. Like, I am so not qualified to even discuss one or the other. So
yes,
let's leave it.
Yes, yes. And just like we read here, only Gaur Krishna knew which associate took birth as which devotee. So it's, I mean, I guess that was for Mahaprabhu's time but I think it also relates to now also. So yes. Thank you for sharing that. Hare Krishna, Niri Hari Prabhu, Hari Bo, and Gopal Ghanasham Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Okay. So some associates of the Lord took birth in Navadvīpa, some in Chattagram, some in Radhadesh, some in Orissa, some in Sri Hatta, and some in the West. So we heard long explanations of all the different associates who appeared in all these different places from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Although the devotees appeared in different places, they all gathered in Navadvīpa. Most of the Vaishnavas took birth in Navadvīpa, and some beloved associates appeared elsewhere. Srivas Pandit, Sri Ram Pandit, Srivas Pandit's younger brother, and Sri Chandrasekhar are worshipped throughout the three worlds. They, along with Srivas Pandit is Narad Muni, and Sri Ram Pandit is Parashar Rishi, is it? I think Parashar Rishi, who is Narad Muni's very close friends, but they're brothers. They took birth as brothers. Forgot who Muni. What is it?
Parvat Muni.
Parvat Muni. Sorry. Parvat Muni. And did it mention who Chandrasekhar was? I can't remember. Oh yeah, well, Chandrasekhar is the brother of Sachi Devi's younger sister, is it? Sorry, he's the husband of Sachi Devi's younger sister, but who is he in Krishna Lila? Did it mention? I can't remember. Don't think so. And then they, along with Sri Murari Gupta, who is Hanuman, Murari Gupta, who cures the living entities of their material disease, they all took birth in Sri Hatta. Pundarik Vidyanidhi, the topmost Vaishnav. Oh wait, this is where we read up to yesterday, so we'll read from this point on, right? Yeah, okay. Haribo, Raseshwari Mataji, Haribo, Manjari Didi, Hare Krishna. Okay, I'm opening up Word. Let's find where we are. 237. No, 236, I think. 236. Okay, that's fine. There we are. All right. Okay. Pundarika Vidyanidhi Vaishnava Pradhan Chaitanya Vallabha Datta Vasudevanam Chati Grame Hoilo Iha Sabara Prakash Budane Hoila Avatirna Haridas. Pundarik Vidyanidhi, the topmost Vaishnav, Chaitanya Vallabha, and Vasudev Datta all appeared in Chattagram. Haridas Thakur appeared in the village of Budana. So now you read the Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. Pundarik Vidyanidhi is also known as Premanidhi and Acharya Nidhi. He is described in Sri Kavi Karnapur's Sri Gaura Ganadash Dipika as follows, verse 54. King Vrishabhanu of Vrajmandal has now appeared as Sri Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Pundarik Vidyanidhi was a disciple of Sri Madhavendra Puripad and the spiritual master of Sri Gadadhar Pandit Goswami. His wife's name was Ratnavati. Wow, that's so interesting. Because Gadadhar Pandit's father is Madhav Mishra, and Madhav Mishra's wife is also named Ratnavati. I wonder if Madhav Mishra is also Vrishabhanu Maharaj. Like,
I heard he was an extension of Vrishabhanu Maharaj.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense. And then both their wives are named Ratnavati. So his wife's name was Ratnavati. His father's name was Baneshwar, or in another's opinion, Shuklambar Brahmachari. And his mother's name was Ganga Devi. His ancestral house is situated in the village of Mekhala, which is 2 miles east of the Hatta Hajari police station, which is 12 miles north of Chattagram. One can approach Mekhalagram from Chattagram either on horseback, or by bullock carts, or by steamer. The steamer station is known as Annapurnar Ghat. The birthplace of Pundarik Vidyanidhi is about 2 miles southwest of Annapurnar Ghat. Although the father of Vidyanidhi belongs to the Varendra class of Brahmanas, when he shifted to the village of Bhagia in the district of Dhaka, the Brahmin community of Radhadesh did not accept him. For this reason, his descendants who followed the Shakta Dharma, worship of Durga, were isolated from the community, and they became priests for the members of the isolated community. Interesting. One of the members of this family is living in Vrindavan and is named Sarojananda Goswami. One special characteristic of this family is that each of its members had only one son or no son at all, and therefore the family was not very expansive. I wonder if his line is still living today, or if it ended with Sarojananda Goswami. I bet it's still continuing on. I don't know. Sriman Mahaprabhu used to address Pundarik as Bap, or father, and he gave him the title Prema Nidhi to indicate that he was the servant of the Supreme Lord. In Madhya Lila, chapter 7, it is described that Pundarik Vidyanidhi was the spiritual master of Śrī Gadadhar Pandit Goswami. The description of Śrī Jagannath Dev slapping the cheeks of Pundarik Vidyanidhi and his disclosing this fact to his dear friend Śrī Damodar Sarup are found in the Antya Lila, chapter 10. One second. The Bhajan Kutir of Pundarik Vidyanidhi is now very old and dilapidated. Without repair, it may soon crumble. There are 2 verses inscribed on the wall of that temple, but they are so old that one cannot read or understand them. There is another temple, however, about 200 yards southeast of this one, and the inscriptions on the wall of that temple are also illegible. Is this in Puri? I don't know. One can infer from the pile of broken bricks 10 yards from this temple that there used to be another temple there. Descendants there say that Mukunda Datta often came there to perform his bhajan. There are 2 living descendants of the family of Srila Vidyanidhi named Hara Kumar Smriti Tirtha and Shri Krishna Kinkar Vidyalankar. Oh, wait a second. I'm confused. Didn't it just say that Sarojan? Oh, maybe there's, okay, those are in different places. So Sarojananda Goswami is in Vrindavan, and then maybe these, anyhow. For further information, one should refer to the dictionary known as the Vaishnav Manjusha. There is a great devotee named Caitanya-bhāgavata. So this is the next associate described in this. Let's just take a look at this really quick. Caitanya-bhāgavata. So Pundarika Vidyanidhi, Vaishnava Pradhan, then Caitanya-bhāgavata. We'll read about Caitanya-bhāgavata and then Datta Vasudev Datta. So there is another devotee named Caitanya-bhāgavata in the line of Gadadhar Pandit. See Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 1287. There is a difference in opinion whether or not this is the Caitanya-bhāgavata mentioned in this verse. Otherwise, the word Caitanya-bhāgavata may be accepted as meaning one who is very dear to Śrī Caitanya, an adjective for Śrī Vasudev Datta Thakur. Okay, interesting. Śrī Vasudev Datta Thakur was born in the village Chanhara, near the Patia police station in the district of Chattagram. This village is situated 20 miles from Mekhala, the birthplace of Śrī Pundarik Vidyanidhi. It is stated in the Gaur Ganodesh Dipika 140. In Vraj, there were 2 very nice singers named Madhukanta and Madhuvrat. Oh, not Snigdhakanta? I guess there's, okay, maybe Madhuvrat's another name for Snigdhakanta. I don't know, I'm just guessing. They appeared in Chaitanya Lila as Mukunda and Vasudev Datta, who were singers in the society of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was the dear well-wisher of Srivas Pandit and Sri Shivananda Sen, this Vasudev Datta. There is a railway station named Purvastali on the EIR Howrah Katwa line. And about 1 mile away, in a village known as Mamgachi, which is the birthplace of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, there is an old temple of Madan Gopal that was established by Vasudev Datta. He later on shifted to Kumarhatta or Kanchanapalli, and he lived with Srivas and Shivananda. Huh, interesting. So after Mahaprabhu's pastimes, Srivas Thakur and Shivananda Thakur, they went to Kumarhatta and Kanchanapalli, and Vasudev Datta also went there. Seeing his liberal nature, Sriman Mahaprabhu ordered Shivananda to act as his manager and reduce his excessive expenditure. See Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 15, verses 93 to 96. His heart-rending prayers to Sriman Mahaprabhu on behalf of the miserable, misguided living entities who are averse to Lord Hari are found in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 15, verses 159 to 180. It is explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi chapter 10, verses 41 to 42. Vasudev Datta, the 19th branch of the Śrī Caitanya tree, was a great personality and a most confidential devotee of the Lord. I'm just looking at Chandrasekhar's comment. Sorry. One could not describe his qualities even with thousands of mouths. Śrī Vasudev Datta Thakur wanted to suffer for the sinful activities of all the people of the world so that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu might deliver them. His disciple was Śrī Yadunandan Acharya, who was the initiating spiritual master of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. See Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita Antilila, chapter 6, verse 161. Śrī Mukunda Datta was his brother. It is not definitely certain whether Śrī Haridas Thakur appeared in the village named Burana. That is a district of Khulna. Oh. Formerly, this village was within a district of the 24 parganas within the Satakira division. That's interesting. I didn't know that there was any dispute on Haridas Thakur's birthplace. Okay. Now we come to the appearance of Shriman Nityānanda Prabhu. Radha Majhe Eka Chaka Name Ache Gram Jahi Avatirna Nityānanda Bhagavan. Okay. The Supreme Lord Nityānanda Prabhu appeared in the village of Eka Chakra in Radha Desh, Gaudiya Bhashya. The village previously known as Ekachaka or Ekachakra is presently known as Virachandrapur and Garbhavas. It is situated 8 miles from the Mallarpur station, which is on the EIR loop line. I just went there a few days ago. In his commentary on Bhagavad Gita 272, Madhvacharya quotes the Padma Purana as follows. By his own sweet will, he exhibits various forms through his own internal potency. He does not appear from Vasudeva in the womb of Devaki. He is not born of Dasharat, nor from Jamadagni. Rather, he eternally enjoys ecstasy and pure pastimes that are free from duality. Okay, verse 39. One second, I'm going to turn off the noise suppression because I think it makes the quality not as nice. 1 second. I just turn it on during the kirtan time so that don't have a right. Hare Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna Shasharmaji. All right. Harai Pandit Nam Shuddha Vipra Raja Mule Sarva Pita Tane Kore Pita Vyaja. The exalted Harai Pandit was the king of the Brahmanas. He was accepted as the father of Lord Nityānanda, who is the original father of all. Gaudiya Bhashya. 1 second, I'm just looking at something. Okay. Okay, Harai Pandit or Haro Oja was born in the Maithila Brahmana family. His wife's name was Parmavati. Although Lord Śrī Nityānanda Prabhu is the father of all universes, the Vaikunthas, the living entities, and the Vishnu Tattvas, he nevertheless appeared as the son of Harai Pandit. Some time back, a false rumor was spread that Śrī Nityānanda Prabhu was born in a non-Brahmana family. This is totally baseless and born from the duplicitous Smarta's envy and hatred of Lord Vishnu. Okay, so the sound quality doesn't get reduced when noise suppression is on or off. That's good to know. All right. Kripa Sindhu Bhakti Data Shri Vaishnava Dham Radhe Avatirna Hoila Nityānanda Ram. The ocean of mercy, the giver of devotional service, and the shelter of all Vaishnavas, Shri Nityānanda Ram, appeared in Radha Desh. Mahajaya Jaya Dvani Pushpa Varishan Sangope Devata Gane Koilen Tokon. At the time of Nityananda's appearance, all the demigods secretly showered flowers and chanted Jai, Jai. Gaudiya Bhashya. When Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Prabhu appeared, all the demigods chanted his glories in ecstasy and showered flowers on him. This incident was beyond the realm of those who believe only in direct perception. Verse 42. Shedina hoite rada mandala shakal puna puna barite lagilo sumangal. From that day on, the land of Radha began to prosper, and signs of auspiciousness became visible. I mean, the Sandhini Shakti is taking birth somewhere. That's when that Baladev Prabhu manifests as Vrindavan. He manifests as the Dham. And so when he comes, then everything becomes beautiful. Yeah, Radha Desh was just like a desert before. No beauty, no nothing. And then when Nityānanda Prabhu appeared, then everything became beautiful. Gaudiya Bhashya. After the appearance of Lord Nityānanda Prabhu, the barren areas of Gaudiya Desh began to prosper. Gradually, the entire Radha Desh became a center of advanced learning and culture. Jai Nityānanda Prabhu ki jai, Nityānanda Ram ki jai. Okay, now we move on to other associates of Mahaprabhu who appeared before him. Trihute Paramananda Purir Prakash Nilachale Jar Shange Ekatra Vilas. Paramananda Puri, who enjoyed pastimes with the Lord in Nilachal, appeared in Trihuta. Gaudiya Bhashya. Trihuta consists of the districts presently known as Muzaffarpur, Darbhanga, and Chapra. In his previous ashram, Sri Paramananda Puri lived in Trihuta. He was the dear disciple of Sri Madhavendra Puripad. In the last portion of this book, various topics related to Paramananda Puri in Nilachal, such as his well, are described. His well is just near to Jagannath Mandir. Just walk a little bit down, and yeah, Mahaprabhu said, anybody who drinks any water from this well will attain Krishna Prem. Right now, it's just next to a police station, that well. It's just like this tiny little temple. Ganga tira punya sthan shakala thakite Vaishnava janma ekene shocha deshete. Vaishnava janma ekene shocha deshete. Okay. Apane hoila avatirna ganga tire shanger parshade kene janmayena dure. The banks of the Ganges are most sanctified. Why then would a Vaishnav take birth at an impious place? The Lord appeared on the bank of the Ganges, so why did his associates appear in distant places? Why do they take birth in impious places, and also impious families, like like Haridas Thakur. Gaudiya Bhashya. When I say impious, I mean like, you understand what I'm saying. Okay, the term Shocha Desh, or impious places, is described in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 11:21-8 as follows. Among places, those bereft of the spotted antelope, I remember reading this, those bereft of the spotted antelope, those devoid of devotion to the Brahmanas, those possessing spotted antelopes, but bereft of respectable men, provinces like Hikata, and places where cleanliness and purificatory rites are neglected, where meat eaters are prominent, or where the earth is barren, are all considered to be contaminated lands. Oh, Rup Manjari sent me a WhatsApp message regarding this verse here, regarding the spotted antelope. And oh God, she had a very interesting explanation for that. And there are, in Judaism, there's like similar, they say similar things like that, but I can't remember. I have to look at the message that she sent. It's interesting.
Is a
Anyways,
spotted antelope a deer, or what is it?
no clue. No clue at all. I don't know. Does Satya Mataji know? No. Yeah. I have no idea. I'd have to look that up. In Manu Samhita 223.
The antelopes have different types of horns.
Yes.
They curve back. And they're similar to a deer, but not really. They're not.
Mm-hmm. And this seems like a particular type of antelope, though, a spotted antelope.
Yeah.
But yeah. In Manu Samhita 223, it is stated, places devoid of sacrificial performances and naturally grazing spotted antelopes are known as mlecha deshas, or impious lands. Okay. The Ganges, which emanates from the lotus feet of Vishnu, and which is the best of the 7 sacred rivers, is glorified by the Puranas. As possessing the topmost potency for purification. Oh, I just got a message from my friend. A spotted antelope, that's a Nilgai. You know, like in Govardhan, sometimes you'll see the Nilgai.
Yeah.
Literally it means blue cow, but they're not really a cow, they're type of antelope. Yeah, that's okay. Very, very interesting. Okay, well, that clarifies it. Thanks. Okay, so what was I saying? The Ganges, which emanates from the lotus feet of Vishnu, which is the best of the 7 sacred rivers, is glorified in Puranas. Okay, Ganga possesses the topmost potency for purification. That is why she has a special position amongst the devotees. The Ganges, also known as Bhagirathi, flows through Navadvīpa of Gauradesh. Since many of Śrī Caitanya's associates appeared outside of Gauradesh, many questions may arise in the hearts of materialistic people. If Vaishnavas appear in a place that is so contaminated that the visitor requires atonement, a place that hinders one's purification, then people will consider these pure Vaishnavas as materially contaminated and forced to enjoy the fruits of pious and impious activities. Yeah, so if Vaishnavas appear in a place that is so contaminated that the visitor requires atonement, a place that hinders, then people consider pure Vaishnavas as materially contaminated. Sorry, I spaced out when I read that. Okay. Therefore, the following question arises. Why did the pious Vaishnavas take birth in places not visited by the Pandavas, Pandava Varjita Desh, or touched by the Ganges, instead of appearing on the banks? Yeah, so why did it, So why did they take place? Sorry, I read that wrong. Or touched by the Ganges instead of appearing on why did they not appear on the banks of the Ganges? One may also question why Śrī Caitanya-dev personally appeared in the highest Brahmin family of Navadvīpa, which is situated on the banks of the supremely pure Ganges, yet he had his associates appear in places far from the Ganges and families other than Brahmanas. In answer to these questions, it may be said that pure Vaishnavas appeared in such places and in such families in order to purify those places and families. This will be explained by the author in verses 46 to 52. 1 second. Nilgai's milk is quite thin and sweet and apparently quite delicious. Wow, that would be really interesting to have Nilgai milk.
So we can see how Gurudev was so humble. He said, I was born in an impious place, although he was like 2 miles away from the Ganga in Bihar. And he used to say, that's where Jarasandha was born. But he was so humble because he actually was born to purify his family and the place.
Yes, exactly. Very nice point, Prabhu. Jai Jai Desha Ganga Hari Nama Vivarjita. Jai Desha Pandava Nahi Gelo Kadachita. Shesava jivere Krishna Vatsala hoya Mahabhakta Sabha Janmayena Agya Dila. Oh, Satyamataji sent the picture of a spotted antelope. There. Sorry, I'm having a difficult time with my screen. There's spotted antelope. But yeah, yeah, that if we can check the original, yeah, I'll take a look a little bit later because I don't want it to take so long. But yeah, I can check the Bengali also. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, my friend, he reads from the Bengali, so I'm guessing that he looked in the original. But yeah, but I can confirm with him. Yeah, okay. Shesava jivere Krishna Vatsala hoya Mahabhakta Sabha Janmayena Agya Dila. Okay. Out of compassion, Lord Krishna ordered his great devotees to appear in places where the Ganges does not flow. Oh, sorry, I already read that. Where the holy names are not chanted and where the Pandavas did not visit. Gaudiya Bhashya. For an elaboration on the meaning of this verse, one can refer to the following verses of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, 7:10, verses 18 to 19, and 1:1:15. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Prahlad, O most pure, O great saintly person, your father has been purified, along with 21 forefathers in your family. Because you are born in this family, the entire dynasty has been purified. Whenever and wherever there are peaceful, equipoised devotees who are well behaved and decorated with all good qualities, that place and the dynasties there, even if condemned, are purified." And so that was, and then Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 1:1:15. O Sutta, those great sages who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord can at once sanctify those who come in touch with them, whereas the waters of the Ganges can sanctify only after prolonged use. This is reminding me of the song Thakura Vaishnavapad Avanira Susampad. It says, Tirtha Jal Pavitra Gune Likhi Ache Purane Shesha Bhaktir Pravanchan Vaishnavera Padodaka Samanahe E Sava Jate Hoy Vanchita Puran. Oh, and also Gangara Parasha Hoile Pashtate Pavan Darshane Pavitra Koro E Tomar Gun. Both these kirtans of Narottam Das Thakur, he explains this very same point. One requires atonement after visiting those places where Krishna's friends, the Pandavas, did not visit, as such places are not frequented by devotees. They're called Pandava Varjita Desh. The Pandavas are as good as Krishna. Therefore, the people of countries beyond the jurisdiction of their rule were fallen, devoid of devotional service, and absorbed in material sense gratification. In Dwapar Yuga, Lord Krishna sent the Pandavas to various provinces and thus established his Bhakta Vatsalya, his affection for his devotees. Similarly, in Kali Yuga, the magnanimous personality Sri Gaurasundar displayed his extraordinary munificence by sending his own associates to places where even Krishna had not sent the Pandavas. Verse 48. Sangsara tarite Śrī Caitanya-avatar apane Śrī mukhe kori yachen angikar. Śrī Caitanya descended to deliver the entire universe. He has confirmed this with his own words. 49. Shocha deshe shocha kule apana saman Janmaiya Vaishnave Sabare Koretran. The Lord had his devotees who are equal to him. The Lord had his devotees who are equal to him appear at impious places and in impious families in order to deliver everyone. Gaudiya Bhashya. The term Shocha Kule is explained as follows. Pious people are not affected by low birth, because they are born in pure Brahmana families. Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras, and Antyajas are progressively more impious. Fruitive workers are born in impious families due to their sinful activities. But Vaishnavas, who are engaged in the service of Lord Vishnu, are as good as Vishnu. They are able to purify all sorts of impious countries and families. In the Shastras, it is also stated, Kulam pavitram janani kritartha vasundhara va vasatish chadanya nrityanti swarge pitaro pitesham yesham kule vaishnavam namadheyam. In whatever family a Vaishnava appears, his family, mother, birthplace, and residence become purified, and his forefathers dance in the heavens. That's really nice. The words apana saman indicates that Vaishnavas are the spiritual masters of the entire world and inconceivably one with and different from Lord Krishna. They represent the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, the supreme absolute truth, and they personify the syllable Omkar. Through the Vaishnavas, Śrī Krishna delivers the conditioned souls whose aversion to Hari is born from accepting materialistic varnashram and caste consciousness. That is why the Vaishnav Shastras, Hari Bhakti Vilas 4.366, loudly declare, we had to learn this in Gurukul, a Vaishnavo patishtena mantrena nirayam vrajet punascha vitinha samyag grahayed Vaishnavar Guru. One who receives a mantra from a guru who is a non-devotee or who is addicted to sense enjoyment is doomed to a life in hell. Such a person must immediately approach a genuine Vaishnav guru and again accept the mantra from him. Other than pure Vaishnavas, no one can properly act as an acharya. Anyone other than a pure Vaishnava is a conditioned soul who suffers the results of his karma. But Vaishnavas are transcendental worshippers of Vishnu, and they have conquered the illusory energy. Therefore, they are as good as Lord Vishnu. They are liberated souls situated in pure goodness beyond the three modes of material nature. They are eternal associates of Lord Vishnu and capable of protecting the conditioned souls from the covering and throwing potencies of Maya by their instructions on sadhan bhakti. They can protect conditioned souls from the covering and throwing potencies of Maya by their instructions on sadhan bhakti. People other than Vaishnavas reject the service of Vishnu and serve Maya, thus accepting temporary material objects as the controller. Eventually, they accept the doctrine of impersonalism and fall in the path of atheism or godlessness. In this way, they lose all inclination for serving Krishna. Verse 50. Jai deshe joy kule Vaishnava avatare. Should be long. Tahara prabhave lakha jo jana nistare. In whatever place or family a Vaishnava appears, people for hundreds of thousands of miles around are delivered. Gaudiya Bhashya. One may refer to the commentary on verse 35 for an explanation of the words Vaishnava avatare. Wow. Hundreds of thousands of miles around, they're all delivered wherever a Vaishnava appears. 1 second. Jayastane Vaishnava Gan, Koren Vijay, Shaystana Hoy Ati Punya Tirtamoy. Wherever the Vaishnavas go, that place becomes a sanctified place of pilgrimage. Gaudiya Bhashya. Out of humility, the great devotees, or swan-like Vaishnavas, the Paramahansa Vaishnavas, they consider themselves impure. They play the role of visiting the holy places to purify themselves, just to deceive the materialists, while in fact, they purify even the holy places. Ordinary places become sanctified by the presence of Vaishnavas. In this regard, Maharaj Yudhishthir said to Vidura in the Śrīmad Bhagavatam 1:13-10. I love this verse. I wrote a Vine of Devotion article on this verse. Bhagavar Vida Bhagavatas Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho Tirti Kurvanti Tirthani Swantasthena Gadabhrita. My Lord, devotees like your good self are verily holy places personified. Because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart, you turn all places into places of pilgrimage. Many times this is translated as Tirti Kurvanti Tirthani, that all the tirthas, Tirthani means tirthas in the plural, and Tirti Kurvanti, they purify. They purify the holy places. I think that's actually the general translation of this. So holy places, they become, because whenever anybody goes to the tirthas, they leave all their sins there. They get purified and they leave all their sins there. But then these tirthas become accumulated with all these sins of all these people that go there to purify themselves. And so then the pure devotee comes and purifies these tirthas that become so full of people's sins. When the materialistic enjoying mentality is absent in a conditioned soul, he becomes a sadhu. Places inhabited by Vaishnavas are better than ordinary holy places. Wow, that's very nice. I like that. Places inhabited by Vaishnavas are better than ordinary tirthas, ordinary holy places. Adikanda, verse 52. Ataeva sarva deshe nija bhaktagan avatirna koila Śrī Caitanya Narayan. Therefore, Śrī Caitanya had his devotees appear in all different countries. Nanastane avatirna hoila bhaktagan Navadvīpe asi sabar hoilo milan. Although the devotees appeared in various places, they all met together in Navadvīpa. So they all eventually met together in Navadvīpa. Gaudiya Bhashya. Please refer to the commentary on verse 32. 54. Navadvīpa hoibo prabhur avatar ataeva Navadvīpe milan sabar. Because the Lord would appear in Navadvīpa, the devotees all gathered together there in Navadvīpa. Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrī Navadvīpa is considered the most glorious abode in the entire universe. For on one hand, Śrī Navadvīpa is the birthplace of Śrī Gaurasundar, the personification of love of God. And on the other hand, innumerable associates of the Lord who are able to purify the entire world were also present there. Since the wonderful, sweet prem of Vrindavan was hidden, the 6 Goswamis and their followers lived in Śrī Vrindavan and broadcast Lord Krishna's eternal pastimes on the order of Śrī Gaurasundar. Similarly, during the time of Śrī Gaurasundar, many devotees came from various places to Śrī Navadvīpa and assisted the Lord in his kirtan pastimes. Navadvīpa heno grama tribhuvane nai jahi avatirna hoila Caitanya Goshai. There is no place in the 3 worlds like Navadvīpa, where Lord Śrī Caitanya appeared. Gaudiya Bhashya. There are 14 worlds in the material universe. Among them, Bhur, Bhuvar, and Swar are mainly inhabited by materialistic persons. Among these 3 worlds, Jambudvīpa of this earth planet is the best. In Jambudvīpa, Bharatvarsha is the best. In the land of Bharatvarsha, Gauramandal, which is non-different from Śrī Vrajamandal, is the best. This is reminding me of the first paragraph of Jaivadharma. And in Gauramandal, the most pious 9 islands of Śrī Navadvīpa are the best. There is no place superior to Śrī Navadvīpa in the 3 worlds, because Śrī Gaurahari, the all-auspicious ocean of mercy, imparted love of God, which is rarely attained even by the demigods, to anyone and everyone without considering whether they were qualified recipients or not. Therefore, the glories of Śrī Navadvīpa are factually incomparable and matchless. Jai Śrī Navadvīpa Dham ki jai. Abhinna Vrindavan Śrī Navadvīpa Dham ki jai. 56. Avatari ben Prabhu janiya vidatha sakala sampurna kori thuilen tatha. Knowing that the Lord would appear, Providence arranged all prosperity and opulence in advance. Navadvīpa sampatti ke varni bare pare eko ganga ghate lakha loka snana kore. Who can describe the opulences of Navadvīpa? 100,000 people would take bath at one bathing ghat. Sounds pretty crowded. Gaudiya Bhashya. No one is able to describe with words the opulences and prosperity of Navadvīpa at that time. Śrī Navadvīpa Dham was decorated with all the good fortune of the 7 holy cities of India that award liberation. That's Ayodhya, Mathura, Haridwar, Kashi, that's Benares, Kanchi, Avanti, that's Ujjain, and Dwarka. So Navadvīpa was decorated with all the good fortune of these 7 holy places and was thus qualified to bear Śrī Caitanya's transcendental lotus feet, which purify the world. At that time, Śrī Mayapur Dham was so thickly populated that innumerable residents and visitors would bathe at each ghat on the Ganges. 58. Trivida vayase eka jati lakha lakha Saraswati prasade sabe mahadakha. By the merciful glance of Saraswati, the goddess of learning, hundreds of thousands of children, youths, and old people were expert in the scriptures. Gaudiya Bhashya. The words Trivida Vayase indicate children, youths, and old people. By the mercy of Saraswati, they were all expert in the scriptures. Sabe maha adhyapaka kori garva dhare balakeo bhattacharya sane kakha kore. They were all proud of being great scholars. Even a young boy would challenge his teacher. Gaudiya Bhashya. The cultivation of knowledge was so mature that people all consider themselves matchless scholars. By the power of their learning, even young students who are still studying competed with elder, mature teachers with hopes of winning. The word kaksha in this verse means competition or debate on the scriptures. One second, I haven't looked at the comments on here in a long time. Oh, Haribol, Ujjwala Prada Mataji. Haribol. Wow, I have so many Prabhupada disciples here today. It's really great. I mean, we have so many Prabhupada disciples here. Okay. Nana desha hoite loka Navadvīpe jai. Navadvīpe porile she vidyara sapai. Many people came from various provinces to study in Navadvīpa, because by studying there, one achieved a taste for education. Gaudiya Bhashya. Students interested in studying logic came from Maithila to Navadvīpa. Many sannyasis and qualified professors from Varanasi in North India came to study Vedanta in Navadvīpa. Many students from Kanchi in South India, they also came to study in Navadvīpa. Therefore, student communities from various provinces came to Navadvīpa and got the opportunity to become expert scholars of various scriptures. So Navadvīpa was very mixed, like a very mixed population. It's very interesting. 61. Ataeva paruar nahi samuchay lakha koti adhyapaka nahi ko nishchay. Therefore, no one could count the innumerable students and millions of teachers gathered there. Gaudiya Bhashya. Due to the facility for studying various scriptures, there were innumerable teachers and students in Navadvīpa. The word samuchay means collection or assembly. 62. Ramadrishti pate sarva loka sukhe vase vyartha kala jai matra vyabahara rase. By the merciful glance of Rama, the goddess of fortune, everyone lived happily there. But they wasted their time in mundane activities. Gaudiya Bhashya. Although by the mercy of Lakshmi Devi, Navadvīpa was full of opulences and the abode of happiness, people who were maddened by material happiness were simply interested to increase their material knowledge in order to gratify their senses. Thus, they uselessly spent their time in ordinary worldly dealings. In his book Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, verse 113, Tridandi Swami Śrī Prabodhananda Saraswati Pad has described the mentality of the materialists and tapasvis who at that time of Sriman Mahaprabhu were proud of their mundane, godless knowledge. What verse am I reading up to? 1 second, just checking. 37, okay. Wait, what? Oops, I forgot to update the, shoot. Anyhow, we'll just read until time's over. I'll have to fix that. Krishna Rama Bhakti Shunya Shakala Sansar Pratama Kalite Hoilo Bhavishya Achar. The whole universe was devoid of devotion to Krishna and Balaram, and the future symptoms of the age of Kali became manifest in the beginning of the age. Gaudiya Bhashya. At that time, various types of misbehavior in the form of aversion to the Lord, which was expected to appear at the end of Kali Yuga, began to manifest throughout the universe. At the beginning of Kali Yuga, people forgot that serving Balaram and Krishna was their only occupational duty. Sorry, I think maybe we should just end here. Yeah, I think so. Let me just check though. I prepare the readings here. Oops. I prepare them here and I get a word count. Okay, I said 67. What verse are we on now? We are on, okay. Maybe let's just read this verse and we can end for today. Dharma karma loka sabe e matra jane mangala chandir gite kore jagarane. People's religion consisted of fruitive activities, and they would stay awake through the night chanting prayers to Mangala Chandi, goddess Durga. Gaudiya Bhashya. Material knowledge was so predominant at that time that people mistook speculation devoid of devotional service to Hari as scholarship. Ordinary people believed that the supreme goal of following religious principles was to increase their material happiness and prosperity by hearing and chanting songs about Mangal Chandi, goddess Durga. They actually mistook unnatural, non-devotional endeavors for a religion, and thus increased the covering of desire for sense gratification, fruit of work, and speculative knowledge. They did not consider that worshiping the lotus feet of the Lord's devotees was the living entity's only goal. 65. Damba kore vishahari puje kono jan putali koroye keho diya bahu dhan. Some people proudly worshipped Vishahari, the goddess of snakes, and others spent great wealth on idol worship. Gaudiya Bhashya. Ordinary people, particularly the rich mercantile community, lavishly spent money for the worship of Manasa Devi, another name for Vishahari. There's a story in which when Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj was a little boy, he had darshan of Manasa Devi, like direct darshan. It's a really neat story. Anyways, they purchased the entire Brahmana and Pandit communities and kept them under their control. They had various idols and deities of demigods and goddesses made, and they donated large sums of money in charity. Even today, the practice of making various kinds of idols is current at the time of Rasa Yatra. Oh my God, is it? Here in Navadvīpa, it's crazy. Every single street has big deities on Ras Purnima at the end of Kartik. They have big deities of Durga and everybody gets drunk and listens to music. It's like a dangerous time. You shouldn't go out at that time because people are like completely drunk and like crazy. Anyhow, yeah. And like they play really obnoxious music and it's, yeah, anyhow.
Jai Kalima.
Jai Kalima. That's here in Navadvīpa, this happens. Instead of serving the deity of the Supreme Lord on the spiritual platform, they followed the system of idol worship and spent huge amounts of money on festivals. Later, they immersed those idols in the water and proved the flickering nature of their worship and their object of worship. Because they spent large amounts of money on useless purposes, the worship of deities such as Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata was rarely found in Bengal. Looks like things haven't changed much here in Navadvīpa, unfortunately. Another reading of the second line is Putali Vibha Dite Deya Bahudhan, which indicates that people who were maddened with material enjoyment uselessly and proudly spent money in marriage ceremonies between male and female monkeys and cats and dolls. That would be so fascinating to see. Anyhow, in this way, they increased their aversion to the Lord. Okay, I said I wrote that we'd read up to 67, so let's just get there because we're so close. Dhana nashta kore putra kanyara vibhai e mata jagater vyartha kala jai. People squandered money on the marriages of their sons and daughters. In this way, they wasted their human lives. Gaudiya Bhashya. Some people considered family life as the goal of life, and they thus spent large sums on marriages of their sons and daughters. In this way, they increased the happiness of those who were averse to Lord Hari. They concluded that getting their daughters and sons married is far better than worshiping the Supreme Lord. And in this way, they simply wasted their time in mundane affairs. Okay, we'll end with this verse, 67. Jeva Bhattacharya Chakra Varti Mishra Sab Taharao na jane sab grantha anubhav. Taharao na jane sab grantha anubhav. Even the so-called scholars, the Bhattacharyas, Chakravartis, and Mishras, did not know the real purport of the scriptures. Gaudiya Bhashya. Oh. Maybe we should read this. Well, okay, it's 8:30 now, so we'll read this Gaudiya Bhashya commentary for this verse 67 tomorrow. Yeah. All right, so I'll end with quick Mahamantra Jaidwani, and then if anybody has anything to discuss, we can discuss. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitāi Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitāi Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Jai Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Srila Param Gurudev Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Saparshad Shri Gaur Shri Rupa Anuga Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Saparshad Shri Gaur Nitānanda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Gana Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Ki Jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Gaudiya Bhashya commentary by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All the associates of Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. All the older associates who appeared before him Ki Jai. Shri Nityānanda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Padmavati Devi Harai Pandit Ki Jai. Shri Navadvīpa Dham Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nitāi Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha. Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha. Kripa Sindhu Bhyaevacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Oh, and one thing I forgot to do. Let's see what we're going to read about tomorrow. Just the topics. Okay. So right now we're reading these parikaras eventually. Today we read about the opulence of Navadvīpa, the land of learning, and how there are innumerable learned students, but they were all devoid of bhakti. So tomorrow we will hear about the devotees' sorrowful prayers to the Lord on seeing the condition of the people. And we'll read the glories of Advaita Acharya and his teaching of the scriptures and worship of Krishna and the distress that he had, his distress due to the condition of the people also. He was feeling so much distress. So that will be the topic for tomorrow's reading. All right. So, yeah, does anybody have anything that's on their minds, anything that they want to share or discuss or anything?
I was remembering what Andre Haripru said, and he mentioned how Gurudev would say that he was born in the land of Jarasandha. And it reminded me of how Madhav Maharaj once said that Gurudev had also said that I am so unfortunate that I was born in the land where the Pandavas rejected. And Madhav Maharaj writes in his book about Gurudev that this statement is not completely accurate because the Pandavas did visit Tiwaripur, or I don't know what it was called before. And because the Pandavas did visit Tiwaripur, and there they disguised themselves as Brahmins, and they challenged Jarasandha. they asked because Jarasandha, he was naturally very, very giving in the sense of he was cruel by nature, but he was very, very giving, he would give lots of donations and charity to the Brahmins. And so the Pandavas disguised themselves as Brahmins, and Jarasandha asked them, "What do you want?" So what do you want? We desire battle. And Jarasandha started laughing at the idea of a Brahmin asking for battle. And it's like, okay, who are you guys? Oh, we're the Pandavas. And it's like, okay, you want to fight? We'll fight. And not only were the Pandavas there, or Devikananda and Vasudeva Krishna was also there. So Madhav Maharaj writes there, so not only were the Pandavas there, but Shri Krishna Bhagavan was there as well. So Gurudev took his appearance in that place.
Oh, wow. That is very, very interesting. I really want to go there to Tiwaripur. I almost went just recently with one of my friends, but then we had to cancel last minute.
Oh, man.
I really want to go there sometime.
It looks really nice.
Kishore, next time you're in India, let's make a trip there.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I want to come.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can all go. Yes, we'll make a nice big trip. Awesome.
Go to Haribol. How far is it from Vrindavan?
It's like, I think it's like halfway in between Navadvīpa and Vrindavan. It's on the way. Like we stop at whenever you take the train to Vrindavan, you stop at the Boxar station, which is just near to Tiwaripur.
I see. Interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And in Puri, when we were taking care of Gurudev, all devotees, of course, there was this lady devotee, no Anita, Benita, and she was from the same area as Gurudev. So they spoke this dialect of Hindi, and Gurudev was so happy.
Bihari,
Yeah. So
when I was living in Jagannath Puri, I lived there for 6 years, and there was one time when Gurudev's family members and a bunch of people from Gurudev's village in Tiwaripur, they stayed in our Puri temple for like, I think like a month or something. It was a long time, and they would make breakfast all the time. Like, so I got used to having like the kinds of food that Gurudev would eat when he was in Tiwaripur. It was really neat because they it's like different things that I never had before. What is it? Bhakti churma and things like that. I can't remember, but yeah, very interesting things. But I heard that that Gurudev, even though he came from Tiwaripur where they don't eat rice ever, my Gurudev would always eat. My Gurudev loved to eat tons of rice, and so they would all like laugh at him and like make fun of him, like calling him a Bengali Baba because he likes rice so much. Yeah.
Yeah, Madhav Maharaj also writes that in his book, that they'd say, "Where did this Bengali boy come from?"
yeah, I remember him saying that.
This actually reminds me of one sannyasi. He's the same sannyasi I was talking about before, or about the Prabhupada Saraswati thing. Anyway, he also said once that he's not from our Sangha. He just randomly started giving class on Gurudev one day, and then he said, it's interesting that Śrīla Narayan Goswami Maharaj, that most of the devotees of the Gaudiya Math, they're all from Bengal, but Śrīla Narayan Goswami Maharaj, he's from Bihar, and he accepted Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and he went and then spent long times in Mathura and Vrindavan, and preaching Yashananda Krishna, the Yashananda Krishna conception to the to the Mathura Vasis there. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, really, how many Param Gurudev? I wonder how many people, like how many Hindi-speaking people did Param Gurudev accept as disciples? Like, I only know about Gurudev. Maybe there's somebody else, but I only know of Gurudev, who's a disciple of Bhakti Brighan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, who's Hindi-speaking. I think Gurudev is like, the only one. I could be wrong, but yeah.
There might be more, but maybe they came from Gurudev's preaching.
Yeah, I'm not sure if disciples of Param Gurudev. I mean, I'm not saying there isn't. I'm not saying, but I just don't know of any. I've never heard of any, so it's very likely. All right, so I'm just checking everybody who's here on YouTube and Facebook. There's Sudevi Didi, Karuna Didi, Vidya Lalasa Didi, Indira Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, Manjari Didi, Shasharma Ji, Ujjvala Prada Mataji. Is Suresh there? Suresh Prabhu? I don't know. And here on Zoom, Satya Mataji, Nri Hari Prabhu, Kishore Prabhu, Shubhananda Prabhu, Champak Didi, and everybody else who's watching who didn't write any comments. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you all tomorrow to hear about the distress of the devotees and seeing the condition of the people and also the glories of Advaita Acharya. Right. So Hari Bol, everybody. Dandavat pranams.
Dandavat pranams to all, and you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Oh, by the way, hey, I did get in contact with Krishna Kishore.
Oh, what did he say?
He shared some stuff about the Radha Vallabh Sampradaya, but I'll share that for another time. I remember everything he said.
Oh, great.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do that next time. Yeah, I remember something like they don't like to wear shoes because they want to touch the Dham. I remember seeing that. Anyway, something like that. Anyways, we'll see each other tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe.